Tiffany. So, all right,
Absolutely.
without further ado, let me introduce everyone, these guys to all the people on the phone here. So, Tiffany, Tiffany Cross. I met Tiffany in 2015. I had a Navy active duty member that had a really bad score. And I turned him over to her credit repair company at the time that she doesn't run anymore, right? You sold that, right, Tiffany?
Right, I did.
And I'll never forget it. About 60, 90 days later, I get a call from her saying, "Hey, check your email. We've got an alert." I'm like, "Wait, what? On who? What? Where? What are we talking about?" And she said, and I can't remember the name of the guy, but let's just call him Alvin. She said, "Yeah, Alvin scores above 620 now." I said, "You got to be kidding me. I had no idea that. I forgot that I even sent him to you." And the first thing that really impressed me was she sent him right back to me. She didn't have a hidden agenda with some other originator or some other agent or whatnot. Tiffany, and we ended up closing that deal. Jed Bratt was the realtor on that down in El Cajon, California. And so kudos to Tiffany. Let me read off her bio to you here real quick. Tiffany's a nationally recognized leader in the credit and mortgage industry, 20 plus years of experience. She's built and sold her credit restoration company to Credit Evolve. Did I say that right? Credit Evolve?
Mm-hmm.
Where she later served as EVP of National Sales and now leads as VP of Sales at IDIQ, driving growth across B2B, mortgage, and real estate verticals. Sought after keynote speaker, Tiffany is known for her experience in consumer hardship solutions. Man, I love that. Did you come up with that? Consumer hardship solutions. Okay. And dedication to fair, sustainable path to homeownership. And you work with Heidi. Heidi's got 10 years experience in the credit restoration industry and channel sales manager at IDIQ. Heidi's passionate about making credit solutions simple and effective. I love that. Because if it's not simple and if it's not effective, veterans are not going to use it, right? And she's built strong relationships with mortgage professionals like you guys on the call, showing them how to use Credit Builder IQ to create real value. Okay, guys, I'm going to hand it over to you both. Do you have a PowerPoint or something to share? Let me go ahead and click off here. Heidi, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, so I just wanted to welcome everyone. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us today. As Charles mentioned, I'm Heidi. I'm excited to share the Credit Builder IQ and how it can help you as loan officers close more deals by turning credit challenges into approvals. So like Charles also mentioned, we're going to do just a quick 30-minute session, have 10 or 15 minutes at the end for a live Q&A. So hold your questions. We'll get to them at the end and answer hopefully all of them. Ask all the questions. No questions, dumb question. Trust me, ask the questions because you're helping somebody else who has the same question and doesn't want to step up. So before we get started, I'm going to show you the quick demo that we have of Credit Builder IQ. Some of you may have seen it. Some of you may have not. It's just a couple minutes long, but it's very informative and it's going to show you how intuitive the platform is and what your clients will be seeing when they start signing up to help themselves through the DIY product. So I'm going to show that to you guys real quick before we get started.
When you click on share, I'm going to have to stop here. Let me go ahead and stop share. And then if you want to go ahead and hit the share button, you should be able to show whatever you got to show. Mm-hmm.
1 second. Where's share? Mm-hmm.
It's at the bottom.
Oh, it's at the bottom. Oh, share.
Yep, little arrow at the bottom. Yep.
Got it. I'm used to using Teams. I apologize.
Oh my God, I can't stand Teams. I don't know what it is.
That's okay. All right, we're going to share. Mm-hmm. And now we're going to go full screen. Is it playing? Can you hear it?
We can't. So you'll have to go to the video at the bottom. At the bottom of Teams next to audio.
Here?
And it should.
Oh, right yes.
No, it's up.
There's a video setting in
Sorry, guys.
No worries.
The audio at the very bottom. Or? Yeah.
It played for me, so I don't know.
At the very bottom of Zoom, there's a video icon.
Oh, on Zoom.
Yeah, it's on Zoom.
Sorry.
There's also an option on share too. where it says on the share where it says
Or
video
at the very
play.
bottom where the Zoom like panel or thing, whatnot.
Yeah, there's a.
But I think she's pulling it off of YouTube, right? It's not a video file on your desktop, right, Heidi?
Correct.
Okay, so well, that's okay. Did you want to just kind of narrate it real quick? I mean, maybe you can move through the frames on the video and just kind of narrate it, or
Yeah, it's just like I said, it's a quick 3-minute, 3.5-minute video that kind of just it's a very like I said, overview, but the product's very intuitive and it's going to walk your clients literally step by step through the credit repair process of doing it themselves. You know, obviously some of us have partnerships with a done for you company, but this is a do it yourself for the clients who, whatever reason, we all have our reasons, want to do it themselves. They're a little more hands-on. They want to go through the whole process, walk it through themselves. So that's what this video is. I will share it in the chat, yes. And it's also part of Charles's landing page, which I'll share that link as well. So the video, I'll share the video itself, and that's also on the Charles landing page where you can access it there as well. I include in all of my emails when I'm communicating with everybody who's reached out to me to get set up with a partnership. I include in every email. So the video is important. So when I do get it out to everybody, please take 3.5 minutes and watch it. Any questions on the product process, whatever, reach out to me. I'm happy to help in any way that I can. Sorry that I kind of miffed on the video a little bit, but
no worries.
So to get started, you know, as loan officers, everyone's had that borrower who looks great on paper, but just can't qualify because of their credit, whatever reason. There's many reasons. Maybe their score is below the threshold, or they've had some recent issues, or maybe their credit profile is too thin. We've run into that as well. So what happens next? The deal stalls, or even worse, you have to tell the borrower, no, you know, there's nothing we can do for you. That not only impacts your pipeline, but it also creates frustration for the borrower who wants to move forward. We're all excited. First-time home buyers, we have bought multiple homes in the past. We're all excited to move forward in that step, in that stage, and become homeowners. The reality is credit is the one barrier standing between some loan officers and between you and the borrower in the closing. And that's where having the right solution makes all the sense for your borrower. Giving them access to CreditBuilderIQ is going to help them get through those credit challenges. It's going to walk them through. It was designed to help you and your borrowers overcome those credit challenges, and here's how. So as I mentioned, they're going to get access to their refresh credit reports every 30 days once they sign up for the program, the platform. And this is going to help them stay on top of the changes that are happening to their credit as they're going through the do-it-yourself credit repair program. And most importantly, as I mentioned, it provides step-by-step guidance on how they're going to go through those steps and improve their credit health so that they can move closer to the qualifying stage of the home ownership. So again, it's literally step by step. Everybody that I've gotten a link for so far has a 7-day trial for $1. I would urge everybody to take that 7 days or half of those 7 days, sign up for that 7-day trial, walk yourself through the program, the platform a little bit, get yourself familiar with it so you can understand what the clients are going to be seeing and what they're going to be doing. You'll also see how easy it is for them to go through the do-it-yourself through CreditBuilderIQ. Again, it's super easy for you to introduce to your borrowers, and it builds trust because you're giving the clients a way forward to get themselves to the qualification of that home ownership when they can't qualify today. I've had questions. I know this will probably come up in the end. I have had questions. This came up yesterday during a call that I had. What's the time frame for credit repair? Honestly, and Tiffany can attest to this, there is no time frame when it comes to credit repair. It takes time and it takes patience, and every situation is going to be different. So if the client's asking you, oh, how long is this going to take? Nobody has the answer to that. There's no formula. So again, just time and patience. And if the client sits down and goes through, uses CreditBuilderIQ, it's going to help them get there. And you're going to be able to notify the system's going to notify you once they get to that score goal that you need them to be at. And we could talk about that later. You could set an an alert in the system, and it's going to ping you and let you know your client's at 680, 710, whatever the goal is for homeownership these days.
680, 710. Damn, we're ready to roll at 580.
Okay, 580. See, I don't know. I don't know what the qualifications are, but sure, set it at 580, and as soon as they get to 580, that you're ready to rock and roll. They've graduated from the Credit Builder IQ, do it yourself. They can cancel, they can keep it, for the credit reports and scores if they want. But at that point, they graduated themselves, and then you guys can move on to the next step in the homeownership. So let's talk a little bit about how you can put this into practice. When you have a borrower who isn't quite ready, instead of turning them away or saying you could refer them off to a credit repair company, which is going to cost them hundreds and hundreds of dollars, you can offer them Credit Builder IQ through a unique link that you will be assigned. It's unique to each and every loan officer that we set up. And this is going to keep the client, your borrower, in your pipeline and give them a clear path to the qualification stage. We also have a whole team of people here. We're going to provide you with marketing materials and resources that you can use to share the Credit Builder IQ. We call it CBIQ. With your clients. So you'll have marketing materials, one-pagers, you'll have little flyers you can print out and leave with clients, hand out to clients, social media posts. So something in addition that I want to touch on real quick, outside of your borrowers looking to get qualified for a home loan, this product is, it's for everybody. Anybody who has credit challenges and wants to take on the do-it-yourself, you can share this with friends, family, neighbors, social media. If you're part of groups and they allow you to post and share, I would be sharing this link because it's for anybody who needs help with their credit. So it's not just for your borrowers. You can expand out and share this link with anybody who is looking to improve their credit. And so, yeah, so basically you'll have a team of people here, including myself. You'll also have an account management team who's going to help with the marketing materials and resources and talking about social media posts and getting your link out there, with marketing tips and tricks that they'll share with you once we get you onboarded. So you'll have them. We already covered on this is not just for your borrowers, it's for everybody. So share it out there, and that's just going to help you start earning commissions. The more you share the link, the more people that sign up for Credit Builder IQ, the more opportunity you have to earn that commission on sharing that link. Since we didn't have time to watch the video, I will drop the link in here for everybody to watch. We're wrapping up a little bit sooner than anticipated.
It's okay.
But if Tiffany has anything that she wants to share.
I do, and I'm so
Tiffany,
grateful.
Tiffany,
Yes,
I'm so sorry. Before you dive into that, can I just, something that Heidi said, I just want to visually show everyone what she's talking about. Those of you guys that do have the VA Loan Facts mobile app, if you go to your, and this is what Heidi's referring to, if you go into your MLO dashboard, that looks like this. This happens to be mine as an MLO, even though I don't really originate much anymore. Once you sign up for the Credit Builder IQ program, you come and paste your link right here within the MLO dashboard. You just copy and paste it. So Heidi, your company will issue that consumer-facing link, and loan officers, you just come in here. This is your MLO dashboard for the mobile app, and then once it's in there, this is obviously a web browser simulation of the mobile phone app. So you guys can see the mobile phone on here. Well, it's not a mobile phone. You can see the app simulation right here. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. So what happens is in your app, and by the way, for you guys that don't have the app yet, and lots of you reached out to us, just go over here to VALoanage, and check out, pick your zip code. There's no restriction of way you can mark it. Get your app. But right here in the Homebuyer Tools, when the veteran clicks on Homebuyer Tools, boom, here's your Credit Builder IQ as a link. And, presumably you'd already talked to them about it. And when they click, they go to your enrolled custom page, and this is how they can sign up as the consumer, right? This is for the veteran consumer facing, beautifully, put together page, explains a lot. I imagine a lot of the content from your video is in here, Heidi, or no?
Yeah, yes, okay. Yes. And the video, I believe, is on that page somewhere too, but I just also put it in the chat for everybody as well.
Gotcha. So this is what the veteran's going to see. And what I wanted to point out to you is the link that Heidi's referring to, that you, the MLO, would get, will show up right in your app. And you just literally got one click, copy and paste, and it shows up in there for you in your VA loan fax. Okay, right back over to you, Heidi. Oh, Tiffany, go ahead.
That's okay. Thank you so much. And I'm so excited. We've had so many great onboarding calls with many of you that have completed the referral, Charles's referral form. And then of course we've created the links and then scheduled a quick onboarding call. That is a part of the process. We do want to meet with you individually and walk you through, answer any questions that you have. To Charles's point, and frankly, Heidi shared it, we know that 1 in 4 consumers on a national level need some assistance with credit. And they just don't have the direction. They don't know what they don't know. And frankly, oftentimes they go to ChatGPT or they go Google information that could be not, helpful. When I owned my own credit repair company for a very, very long time, we found that only 50% of the individuals that you are referring to credit repair companies actually enroll. And the reason for that is that, frankly, some of them charge $200, some of them charge $109, you name it, how much, and a lot of consumers will say, guys, if I had the $200 a month, I wouldn't have credit issues. So what is another solution? So I do like to tell my mortgage partners, listen, this is not necessarily to replace traditional credit repair. It can, and it's certainly just as impactful. We do recognize that there are some consumers that need the hand holding, and that's okay too. But I'll tell you, this is just as effective. So for individuals that say, gosh, $49.99 is a much more reasonable solution, and I'm okay doing some of the work, the system will not only provide them with a credit report, but as Heidi said, it's going to give them an individual game plan solution. So it's not just basic information about, late payments. It's going to literally highlight on their credit report what needs to be handled, what the best practices are, and they can literally print their own disputes right from the app. So it's a step-by-step, very intuitive, very easy. I always say if a 5th grader can't do it, then it's not helpful. We want everybody to be able to use it impactfully. So the goal is for each of you to say, I don't want to say no to anyone, but I'm also too busy to do the credit repair for my clients. So instead of saying no, you can say, listen, I'm Charles Vamadiva. I don't believe in telling my clients no. So it has to be not yet for today. So go to my app, utilize this solution. It will notify me when your mortgage ready, and then I'll be waiting for you at the finish line. So it gives a much more positive messaging than having to say, sorry, can't help you, right? I do love working with VA loan officers because quite honestly, Heidi's correct, but I will correct one point. Getting a consumer to a 580, the timeline is very quick. It is not endless. It's not something that takes indefinite. Now, if she was trying to get them to a 720, 740, that could take a while. But the FICO score moves very generously from a low 500 to a 580 VA loan readiness status. So all the consumer has to do is put on their DIY hat, hit the go button, and do the work. So I also want to say coming soon to a theater near you, very soon when the consumer prints their disputes, they'll have the ability to print the letters from our app. Send them out, use the mail system that's even in the app that we're about to launch. So they won't even have to put a stamp on their own letters here pretty quick. I'm really excited about it. That's pretty much all I wanted to say. I think at the end of the day, we just want to start taking the no, tell them not yet, direct them to your app, keep that borrower in your pipeline and close more loans. That's what we're here for.
I have a question. What sort of time frame are you, on average, everyone's different, right? Someone might come to you with a 450, they've never seen a bill they liked, right? Or somebody might be right at 579, right? So what are you seeing on average? How long are these prospective home buyers in your ecosystem before they're like, hey, I think I can get a loan now, and they reach back out to their loan officer? What is that, 3 months, 6 months?
It depends really, Charles, on where their starting point is. And it's sort of like saying, how fast can you lose weight? Some people drop pounds quickly, some take longer. And it's, what are they doing? Are they actually doing the work, printing the letters, sending the letters, and then following up as they're supposed to the next step? But assuming that the consumer's proactive and they follow the game plan, let's assume the consumer was like a 520 or a 500 and they're trying to reach a 580. honestly, it just takes a little bit of effort for the consumer to reach that 580 because it's super generous in the lower ranges. So I've seen as quick as 45 days. I've seen as quick as 90 days. And it just really depends on what, how proactive they are. It should never take a consumer 6 months to go from a 500 to a 580 ever. So, again, there's a lot of things that would change that if they get a new late payment or they max out a credit card while they're in their credit building process. There's some things that could change. But bottom line is, we will be there to help support you guys with the implementation of this. If you're comparing it to $299 and the consumer says $49.99, most consumers don't even flinch when they see that price point, because there's an obvious value there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're gonna open it up here in a minute to questions. We've got 80 people on the call, so I don't want it to get too crazy. I don't know if we should have the questions put in the chat or unmute everyone, but what are the typical actions that a veteran's going to be asked to take? Is it, hey, go dispute all these, alleged late payments, or is it pay down this debt, or is it, hey, really, go for the jugular and try to get this thing deleted? Is it adding, authorized user account? What are some of the top three, if you would, actions that your system's going to lead that person to take?
I love that question because it's smart technology, right? So IDIQ, we ingest our own credit data. It's our credit data provided by the bureaus, and it aligned. We use AI, of course, and intelligent technology to identify best practices for score improvement. So for example, it's going to show credit card utilization strategies. It's going to identify what negative items have the most impact on the score and frankly offer suggestions as to best practices for disputing. Because a lot of times people are going to say, well, I don't like that it's there, but not liking a negative item on your credit report doesn't mean it shouldn't really be there. So they'll be able to print the disputes, and we give suggested dispute strategies that are not only ethical and compliant, but actually impactful. So they can choose the dispute reason, the actual letter itself. When you're disputing a negative item, for example, it will populate, the letter will be created, they print it and mail it. But disputing negative information is 35% of the FICO score, right? The payment history is 35% of the score calculation, but credit card utilization is also very important, and that's 30% of the score. So it's going to suggest all of that. And so as a credit building tool, it's going to look at all factors of the score, including inquiries, and create a path forward that's individual for the consumer.
The consumer's paying for their own. I see some questions that seem to imply that the loan officer is paying, but they're not. The consumer pays for their own, access. Let me ask you, and I don't want to be the only one to ask questions. We're going to open it up here in a second, but there is a very gray line between a frivolous, what the bureaus might call a frivolous dispute request, and you get your hand slapped and whatever, and a legitimate dispute request. Based on some factors about the account that are not accurate. Could you speak to that? I mean, how do we stay in the safe zone because we're having these veterans go dispute stuff. Could you speak to that?
I can, yeah. And it is true. There's frivolous disputing styles, and then there's, accurate and so on. So we are not ironically, I could say this, which I used to be, but this is not, we're not in the credit repair world. We're in the credit report and credit building providers. So the consumer is going to choose which is most accurate to their situation, right? They're going to have to identify, what reason they use for disputing, but we're going to give them the best options based on the, whether it's inaccurate data, unverifiable data. But Charles, I will tell you, the credit bureaus are notorious for calling every dispute frivolous. And that's not the case, right? So at the end of the day, we want deletions for the consumer, and we want them to get the quickest results. And so the fortunate thing is the lender doesn't have to get in the weeds with the consumer and try to figure out what's best for them. The system's designed to do that, and it's very, very, very impactful, and consumers get huge bumps in score very quickly. But at the end of the day, we're not going to tell someone to lie and say that something's not theirs, for example, if in fact it was. So it's going to give them the reasons that make most sense for the issues on their credit.
Good to go. We're going to open it up to questions for the next 10 minutes. So I did ask everyone to unmute themselves. If you're able to speak, go right ahead.
I would love to hear an example or see an example of somebody before and after and how you got through that process from. There's a lot of credit companies out there in the world that kind of slither and crawl on the ground. They're reptiles that take people's money and don't do crap for them. And I want to make sure that we were entrusting them in the care of somebody who's really going to serve their needs. Please speak to that for me.
Yeah, Brent, I love that.
But before you answer that, Tiffany, and Brent, thanks for that question. And I love the poster on your wall, by the way. Tombstone's my favorite movie of all time.
I was just going to comment the same thing.
A shameless plug. I've known Tiffany for 10 years now, 2015. And in my originating days, I've referred her, literally probably over 100 clients. And not one single person has come back with some kind of a complaint or, hey, they scammed me or whatever. Have we gotten great results with every single one? No. Some of them just didn't do what they were supposed to do, and we couldn't get to the finish line. But I can say my team has literally closed loans, FHA, VA, USDA, from what her team has done. And is that to say that they couldn't have got it done somewhere else? No, but they did a great job. So I want to preface that, Tiffany, before you answer Brent's concern.
I appreciate your advocacy for them, Charles.
No, I appreciate the question too, and I appreciate your answer too, Charles. And Brent, I love that. If I still owned my credit repair company, I'd say that would be probably more relevant in that we are not doing the credit repair. That's what's awesome about this, is that the system is designed for the consumer to do their own credit repair. So they're not getting hustled. They're actually doing the work themselves, utilizing our platform. So it's not that they're paying a guy or a gal and hoping that they're getting their money's worth. They're clicking the buttons, doing the work for themselves based on the credit repair data and the FICO score calculation recommendations. So this is not a guy or gal performing the work on their behalf. So the results are really in the client's hands. That's why this is a DIY program versus what you asked initially, which is how do we know they're not getting slithery service? They're doing it themselves. Hopefully that answers your question.
Thank you for that. Thank you for the question, Brent. Charles just got a question, guys. We've got about 10 minutes on this. And while we're waiting, Tiffany, Heidi, would you mind sharing some success stories that you've seen? It doesn't have to be VA. We're very VA focused here with the mobile app as a VA mobile app, but any success stories that you'd care to share?
We actually do have some success stories, and I was thinking as I was answering some of the questions over here in the chat that I kind of, after this, I want to put together maybe a little FAQ of the questions that have been asked so far, and I can start including that in my emails. And then I'm going to go to the CreditBuilderIQ team, Syria, who heads that team, and get some actual, because he's been collecting the feedback that we've been getting and success stories from our partners who have clients who have achieved their score, their credit repair score goal based on using CBIQ. So I'm going to get that from him and then start including that. But he has a whole list of clients who have provided their success stories to us, of people who just need to go up a few points and they were able to accomplish it with just 1 month. So they, whatever their price point was, they paid that 1 month with CBIQ, printed out their letters, mailed them in, and within a few months, 1 month, they were able to go up a few points. Then we have a few others who took a little bit longer because they had more things that they had to pay attention to. But we do have success stories. I don't have any at my fingertips right now, but I'm going to get some for everybody, and I'll start making that part of my email when I'm communicating with everyone.
Yeah, I would like to speak to that though too. The case studies themselves, I think we can send individual testimonials, but the case studies that we have are all around the disputing of negative information successfully, the guidance with collection accounts, frankly, and then the credit card utilization strategies that are most impactful for the consumer. So those are the general case study, like what they did to reach the goal. But Heidi's right, we can actually get specific. This client had a 520 and ended up at 580, and this is how he did it. We can provide those too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And once again, guys, sorry, I'm going to take this over here for a second. Those of you guys that do have the VA Loan mobile app, which is most of you on the call here, if you go to your Credit Builder IQ tab or link on the left sidebar. You click on that. This is where you really can get all of this information that Heidi shared right here, right? You can click to learn more. I'm not going to go there right now, and then the setup instructions. And once you're done with the setup instructions, Heidi's team reaches out to you. You go get that link, and you paste that link right here in your dashboard, and it shows up on your VA Loan mobile app. And this is what the veteran clicks and sees. So just a reminder as to how you set about doing that. Any other questions, guys? Any other questions, concern? I do have one. I want to ask this real quick while waiting. This is kind of a gray area. It's always been a gray area for years. I'm not sure what VA's rule is, but adding authorized user accounts, is that a total no-no? Is that something that you guys steer clear of as far as advising the veteran? What's your thoughts on that?
So that would be something that we would highlight in their credit path that they need to address, which is a thin credit profile. And specific to that though, credit card utilization and authorization is still very legal. It is okay. So if a consumer is lacking positive trade line history and they're added as an authorized user to a spouse or the very easy way to get a quick bump in score, as long as the credit bureaus, as long as it's a family member, of course, the recommendation, or a coworker, et cetera. The key then, of course, is to just ensure the fact that the authorized user isn't maxed out on the credit card that they just added the secondary borrower to. But it's a great strategy, and obviously would be addressed in the credit path of CreditBuilderIQ.
Good to go.
Yeah.
It's just looking at it from a 30,000 foot view. I mean, gosh, $50 a month for the veteran. They're not able to get the loan right now, which is why they're even engaging this type of program. Even if they were in it for 6 months, $300 out of their pocket, if their score went up 30, 40, 50, 60 points, and all right, they didn't get the best interest rate out there, but they got into a home. Is that worth it? Is that a value add? Oh my God, right?
Absolutely.
For half the cost of the VA appraisal, less than half the cost of a VA appraisal, really. Any other questions, guys, before we wrap up? And then Heidi, you're going to put that link. And by the way, by all means, watch the link, but in your MLO dashboard, go look at that link on the left. Everything is in there in your mobile app dashboard. Sorry, go ahead. Anyone got any questions?
I was just going to say that the one thing that I will tell you that most of the LOs have asked when they're doing the onboarding call is, do I have to just use this, as I mentioned? Is it in lieu of credit repair? It gives your borrowers options to offer both, right? It hits both price points, and the consumer can go with whatever option that they prefer. But I will tell you, this is something that if I would really recommend, go click the link. You can use your $1, $7 trial. Is it 7 days? I think it is, Heidi. Play around with the app so you can see the value. A lot of lenders will say, I run a Wayfinder, or used to be called a Wayfinder back in the day, but I'm limited to what I can solve for. It's generally just going to tell a consumer to pay off their credit cards for a quick win. This is much more robust and detailed, and much more impactful to a consumer, because it breaks down step by step, rather than just running a Wayfinder and telling a consumer to pay off their credit card debt.
Yeah.
I have a question about the credit report that is pulled by the system every 30 days. Are those credit scores comparable to what we get as a mortgage company when we pull credit?
Tiffany, did you want to answer that? Or?
So you look really
familiar.
familiar.
I'm like, hi, Melanie. We've been emailing.
I'm like, wait a minute. I kind of had to pause for a second. I think I met with her. So, yes and no. So the mortgage industry, I tease Charles because I think he's one of the only Android lovers I've ever met in my life. But,
that's a real phone.
It's a real phone. But
hey now, racist against us Android users.
All right, the green, all the green.
Enough with the green bubbles.
The green bubbles. Okay. I like to compare, the mortgage scores, which is of course the FICO 2, 4, and 5, are the equivalent of the very first flip phone when it comes to scoring. Right, literally the first, and we've advanced so much. We have FICO 10T. We have, imagine 2, 4, and 5, all the way to 10. And we've been, as an industry, you have been using the same score for 30 years. And it has had many iterations and upgrades. So that being said, the Vantage score is not incorrect. It's just different than the one that you use in mortgage decisioning. So I can tell you sometimes the Vantage score itself can be higher. Sometimes it can be lower than the ones that you see. For the sake of affordability, we provide FICO 2 and we provide, I'm confusing it now. Heidi, do you want to speak to the other two that CBIQ is? It's FICO 2 and which ones?
Actually, CBIQ is Vantage.
Okay, just Vantage. So
we do that because, like Tiffany's point, we do that for affordability on the Vantage because we can negotiate better prices with the bureaus on that. But as I tell my partners that I work with in the credit repair industry, obviously if your Vantage score is going up during credit repair, and your FICO score is also going up.
Yeah. So when you get notified at that score trigger alert, that's what I was going to say to you is I do recommend that most of you set the score trigger at like 560, maybe 570. The reason for that is that when you get alerted that your borrower has improved to 560, it gives you an opportunity to be the point of contact where you could reach out proactively and say, congratulations, I see that you're making progress. You're almost at the finish line before they start shopping with another LO, right?
Okay.
So get ahead of it a little bit by setting the trigger just a little bit shy of that 580 FICO score. But Melanie, it's not much different in those ranges. In that score range, you're going to see Vantage being very similar to the FICO 2, 4, and 5.
Okay, great. Thank you.
That changes though when the score gets into the 6s. There's a little more difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. We want to be respectful of your time. Everyone's busy. Heidi, did you drop that YouTube link in the chat or?
Yes, I've dropped it a couple times. So the demo's there. Your landing page is there for anyone who hasn't yet filled out that interest form. If you do fill out the interest form, I will be in touch with you soon, and I will be putting together an FAQ page that I'll start including with my emails moving forward to kind of help summarize everything that all the questions we've been asked today. This is a great opportunity.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
thank you
we're
all you guys,
excited.
loan officers. Tiffany,
Thank you.
Heidi, thank you. And for those of you that are on here that have not yet got your own VA Loan mobile app, I mean, $49 a month. Come on, guys, you're going to spend that this month eating out, or this week eating out. So the link is in there. Go pick your zip code. I've had numerous loan officers call me and say, hey, I don't want to pick one zip code and be limited. I'm like, come on, dude. The zip code just identifies where you are. You can market that thing in all 50 states if you're licensed. There is no restriction where you can market yourself. You can be. We've had loan officers that have gotten leads from Japan, from active duty service members that got the app over there. I'm like, so there's no restriction on that. Thanks all for coming. I will get this Zoom recording cleaned up and emailed out to everyone, and let's go help some more veterans. Okay.
Thanks, Charles. Thanks, everybody.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Take care.